Hi there, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about some different things for your English journey. I have my students just finishing our 4-week Speakeasy program to help them unblock their English and become more confident and be see themselves as English speakers, which they already are. And I was so very proud to see those students I had starting not thinking they could hold a conversation, not thinking that they could speak English for more than a few sentences. I get to speak English 30 minutes, 4 times a week with native speakers. And they realize that it's not as hard as you think. And as anything in life, it seems scary from the outside. But once you're there, and with my help, they were able to overcome the challenges and speak a lot more English than when they started. So great. What I'll be doing today is speaking about 3 topics. It's not going to be an English class per se, but it's going to help you change your mindset about, especially my students. This video is a lot focused on the students that just graduated my program, but it's useful for anyone that's trying to learn English. So first of all, is this mirrored? Are you seeing this mirrored? Because in my video, I'm seeing it mirrored. If is there anybody there, can you tell me? I'm gonna go on YouTube right now so I can actually see if it's mirrored or not. Give me a second, I'm getting there. Because me and technology, if you have been following any lives in this channel, you realize that I have to get better at it, there's no excuse. I definitely have to get better at it. Let me see here. Oh no, it's not mirrored. Awesome. So I can actually use this with you guys. If it's not too, I'm going to get the camera a little closer when I start talking about this. But I'm going to be going over 3 different things with you today. So thing number 1 is I'm going to give my students a walkthrough the personalized study plan that they got in their email now that our course is over. And if you are curious about, this study plan is, it's not a study plan that I can actually send out to people because it only makes sense if you go through the program. So if you're curious about the program, just shoot me a message, send me a message here, and we'll be able to speak about it. So yeah, just let me know. But I'm going to walk them through, and there will be information there that will be useful for everyone. So just follow me with that, and we'll be able to speak about, because now that my students are done with the program kind of like walks through, holds your hand. I'm there every week. I'm there constantly asking them to do this or that. And now they're going out into the world, kind of getting on with their English learning by themselves. So they're not going to be depending on me anymore, even though I'll be here, and I'll be here weekly with emails, and that everybody that graduates my program receives weekly for 6 months, and me weekly class here on YouTube, just going over a lot of mindset change, sometimes something about English. I'm not so interested in teaching you grammar or vocabulary, because once you change your mindset, learning grammar and vocabulary becomes really easy, because you don't see that as an excuse anymore, or as something kind of boring and repetitive. You see it as just a part of learning a language. And learning a language is not just memorizing 100 words or memorizing grammar structures, doing exercises. It's not about that. Learning a language is about using this new language to communicate with people. So we're going to get to that. And I'll be reminding you guys about the 3 layers of our foundation of our little house. That is the most important thing. And I want to remind you, because I talked a lot about those 3 things during the course, during the program, but I just want you guys to remember that this is what's going to keep you going. It's not the best strategies or the most interesting whatever resources that I can send you. Those things are great and they help, but ultimately what's keeping you interested, what's keeping you disciplined is this. So it's very important. And then I'm going to go over a question that I get a lot, like, what do I focus on when I don't have time? So like I have all of the things I can do: listening and pronunciation practice. You can, watch a video, read an article. You can do a lot of different things, especially my students now. They know that there is a lot of resources out there and a lot of different strategies. But what if you have that busy day and you don't have time to sit down and study? Like, what should you focus on? Because sometimes having too many options is a curse and a blessing. You understand? Curse and blessing. Curse is what, like, witches, with the pointy hat, dead women, witches will put a curse on you, like something bad. So that's a curse. And the blessing is the opposite. It's like, the Pope blessing you in the I just came back from Rome, so that's why this example is in my mind. But when the Pope comes out and like does his blessing to all the people, it's like kind of giving these good thoughts, good energy to people. So too many options. It's a good thing, because then you can find what you like and you have, creative ways to learn. But also a bad thing if you're stuck, like if you feel like, oh my God, I have way too many options and I don't know what to do. And then you don't do anything. That's the problem. So we'll be speaking about that, okay? Stay tuned. So let's start with, I'm going to walk you guys through the study plan for you, my students, but also anybody that's watching. You'll be able to see how we do things in my program and what the end result is. Every one of my students got a study plan like that, according to their preferences about resources. So let me share the screen with you guys. There we go. Beautiful study plan. I worked hard to make. And yeah, so this is Fernanda's. Fernanda, I used yours as an example. And the thing is, everybody's starting kind of like from the same baseline. So everybody's study plan is the same for these first 4 weeks based on what we did in the program. But you can always adjust things. I'm going to tell you what is the most important and things you shouldn't be changing, like you should do no matter what. But everything else you can adjust, you can do, in a way that you like. And okay, so this first page is basically outlining all the strategies you see here. I started with listening, then pronunciation, as you guys know, reading, and the EPS. So I organized by skill and by strategy. And starting with listening here, I put this like color-coded things just so you see that every week you'll be doing something different within each one of the skills and strategies, and you can adjust this as you go as well. So great. First of all, I want to point out this listening part and this first block here. This is a change, guys. For you guys that were in my program, I didn't establish a minimum listening time for the day. But after some research I've done, and I knew this from the beginning, but I want to implement this more, kind of like, more explicitly. I want you guys to take 30 minutes daily to listen to English. I know 30 minutes seems a lot, but it's not really. 30 minutes is nothing. And I would like for you to choose a video that you can watch twice. So 10 to 15 minutes, or a video or a podcast, either or. And once you're going to be listening to it without subtitles or the transcripts, and another time with the subtitles or the transcripts. And you're going to do this every single day. You see this blue here? It's blue every single day of the week for all the 4 weeks. So I kind of plan this for the next 4 weeks, because then after 4 weeks, you can adjust and see, what you want to do, and then replicate if this is working. So every single day, this is the key. This is the secret to gaining fluency very quickly. I promise you that if you do this every day for the next 30 days, or the next 28 days, the next 4 weeks, um, your understanding and your fluency will get better. Like, there's no doubt. This is the most effective thing for you to do. And I always say to my students, if you're not doing anything, at least listen to some English passively, even so. But always listen. But now I put it as like kind of a requirement. You have to listen. And the thing is, sometimes it will overlap. You can use the same video or podcast to do a listening activity, or to do a pronunciation activity, or even use that for reading and grammar. So it can overlap. So you don't have to do 30 minutes of listening and then another 30 minutes or an hour of something else, because you can use both things together. Okay, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that a little later. So here is for you, because you're going to go to this other tab here, and this is per week. You're going to have all of this, weekly. I kind of like put the times here and how much time you should spend for every activity. So here is more like an overview, and you come back here, it's a little bit more explained what you're supposed to do for each week. Okay. And yeah, just two ways of looking at it as well. If you want to come here and see how you should plan yourself. And then we go to the next thing that's very important. So after you look at this, I want you to think about the things you have to do for the day and plan yourself. So after we finish this video, the one homework you're going to have is plan your week. Look at this. You spend 15 minutes on Monday. So how can you split these 15 minutes? Maybe you can choose a video for tonight, maybe do the night before, choosing what you're going to use for the listening. And the same thing you use for the listening, you can use for the pronunciation strategy. You can use the same material for both. And where do you choose the materials? Ta-da-da, there you go, your resources. And just so you understand, everything that's purple is things that you haven't explored yet. You haven't taken a look. So use a different thing every week or every day for you to, explore more resources. And these in white are the ones that you actually told me you liked. So this is different for everyone. The resources are different, slightly different to each one of you. These are the ones that you already know that you like. So let's say, you're gonna have a tight day tomorrow. Let's go with something I know I'll like. I'll go to the TED Talks. Here they are, and go to the TED Talk, choose a TED Talk, and then go back to here, and you're going to see. Okay, so I have to choose a TED Talk from 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to plan yourself, plan how you're going to do these things here. So let's say you can wake up and watch the TED Talk first thing in the morning. Wake up, watch to it once. Don't worry about understanding everything, as always. Don't worry about having to stop or do anything. You're just watching it once, getting the context, getting the main idea. So there you go. You already did half of your listening practice, if it's a 15-minute talk or anyway. So that's it. You listen to it in the morning. And let's say that, after lunchtime, you have 10, 15 minutes. And come on, guys, be honest with me. 10, 15 minutes is the time that we spend in social media, is the time that you're reading the news. So, we all have 10, 15 minutes throughout our day. And so choose another time that you can listen to it. The second time, you might have to, stop a couple of times, but nothing that would take very long. But the second time, you're going to put the subtitles on and watch the video with the subtitles. And that is not a listening practice per se, but you're practicing listening while you're doing that. And then while you're watching the video with the subtitles, so let's say, well, if you have a podcast, try to find one that has transcripts. So I'm going to show it to you guys what I mean. Let's say I chose this talk by Simon Sinek or Sinek. Oh, okay. Hi, Paulo. I'll get to your question in just a second, okay? Okay, so we have this video by him, and it's a 5-minute video. So I prefer you watch just one video a day. So let's see. Okay, let's say Steve Jobs, Stanford commencement speech. We can use this one. So I'm going to watch it once, just watching, his language, the way, his tone, keywords that I can understand, just looking for the general context. Then the second time, we're going to click on the closed captions, and these are auto-generated, so they're not perfect, but they're good enough. So I'm going to take the audio off so we don't listen to it. You guys don't listen to it. So you're watching it. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. You see a phrase, a sentence that there is a word. I would prefer you choose a word that you don't know, that for pronunciation, for example, pronunciation practice. And you use that to practice. So let's say, let's wait until, okay. So he said connecting the dots, and I'm not sure what connecting the dots is. So sorry guys, let me put full screen. There we go. Let's see if it's in the video. Okay. So let's say I saw this connecting the dots, and I don't know exactly what that means, and I want to practice with that. So I'm going to get a notebook or, a Word document, and I'm going to write down the sentence, where he starts the sentence, and I'm going to write down a sentence long. So in this case, he says just 3 stories. The first story, you can start here. The first story is about connecting the dots. The fourth story is about connecting the dots. That's already a sentence. And that's what I want you to do for the pronunciation, for example. You're going to just choose 3 to 5 sentences and do the shadowing strategy. Okay? If you have any questions about the shadowing strategy, then you have to let me know, because I taught you guys already, so I'm not going to teach you again today. But what I mean is you're going to use the same video to do the practice. That's not going to be 2 different things. We're going to try to integrate as much as we can, okay? So, choose your 3, 5 sentences that will take you, they will be very quick. Write them down, especially if something you don't know, so you have to look it up. And then that's it. Do the shadowing and recording. And if we go back to the plan, that's the first thing. Practice speech fluency with shadowing and recording. And that's about it. And then with the words that you saw in the video that you don't know, you're going to build your flashcards. You can choose to build the flashcards. I put different options here. So I put here 10-minute flashcard practice, 10 minutes to make your own flashcards. But if you find anything interesting here, you can definitely make your own flashcards. So here, if you go back to the apps, the flashcard things, and you can choose to use the apps or do it, physical paper flashcards. I don't care. So I put here, study decks, the ready to use ones, but you can also make flashcards. You can change this around, guys, as you wish. I just want you to have a variety of options, either studying the decks or making the flashcards and studying your own flashcards. So let's say you learn that connecting the dots is an expression in English and you want to make a flashcard about it. Just go there and make the flashcard. And there you go. You'll have a flashcard about Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement speech. So there you go. That's how you're going to do this practice. You're going to integrate listening to the pronunciation practice to the flashcard practice. And all in all, shouldn't take you more than an hour to do. And of course, you can adjust during the day. A day you have more time, you do more of shadowing and recording. A day you have less time, do just, one or two sentences. And the same thing with the flashcards. But this shouldn't be, too hard. And so, yeah, anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this. For example, the day 2 for listening, you are not going to do the listening, separately. You're going to be doing just one thing. So instead of just listening to the video or the audio once and then seeing it again with subtitles, you're going to do the active listening strategy from week 1, remember? So choose in week 1, I'm suggesting you to choose a 5-minute tutorial. But if you don't like the tutorials, choose a 5-minute commencement video. You can get these Steve Jobs commencement video and watch until minute 5. And then tomorrow, do the other 5 minutes. You see, there is like so many ways for you to adjust this for your own learning, for your own time. So there is no excuse for you to tell me, I have no time. You might have, different excuses, but time shouldn't be one of them. And same thing for Wednesday reading. You can use just, instead of doing the full 30 minutes, you can do 15 minutes of listening and 15 minutes of reading. That's okay. And then you can do it differently. Like, if you want to listen to something and then you want to actually read the news, for example, you can do them separately. Or you can do something that's connected to the same topic. That also helps. Or you can use that 15 minutes of listening when you do the 15 minutes of reading the subtitles. You can use that as reading practice. And then always making time to make your own flashcards or studying, okay? Same thing here on grammar. You can do the 3-minute listening and this 15-minute grammar explanation. You can also integrate it to the listening and choose a topic. One of the topics that I sent you for grammar topics throughout our program, or anything you're interested in learning specifically, and try to find that structure in the listening, in the video, on the podcast. Whatever you have, the transcript or the subtitles, you can try to find that grammar structure and see how the person is using it. And always make your own flashcards. So Friday, I'm leaving it very open. Just do the listening without, worrying too much about it, and study a bit of the flashcards. But ultimately, I want you to do this 30-minute listening practice every single day. If I haven't stressed this enough, because this will be very important. Very, 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 very important. Don't skip it, okay? Even if you are in your way to work, when you're doing the first listening, the second listening, you actually have to read the subtitles or see the transcripts. But the first one, you can listen to it while you're having breakfast or, in your commute while you're driving or in the bus. And then for Saturday and Sunday, I want you to think, is there any one skill you need to focus that day? So maybe you didn't have time during the week to focus on pronunciation, for example. You can do that on Saturday. Or you didn't have time to finish the quizzes, and you can do that on Sunday. But I don't want you to accumulate things. You're going to choose one thing for Saturday, one thing for Sunday, and you're not going to do anything else, because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So Saturday and Sunday is a freebie, an opportunity for you to, get to do something you didn't have the chance to do. But if you, let's say 1 week you were crazy busy, you only did the listening, you didn't do anything else, you're still going to choose one thing for Saturday, one thing for Sunday. And let's say this week, 1 week you were amazing, you were able to do everything suggested here. So then for Saturday and Sunday, you can try to do something a little bit different. You can, go to lyrics training. You can maybe make more of your own flashcards. You can, choose to focus on whatever skill you want and give it some extra practice. But don't let it go over 45 minutes, okay? And this actually, you can adjust. You can do a little bit more listening, a little bit less listening, less study flashcards, and integrate, okay? And then, you have the checklist. You can check the things here if you like that, if that gives you some motivation. And every week you see different minimal pairs, 5-minute product review, and the grammar lesson instead of the grammar quizzes. You can kind of and if you were one of the people that hated the quizzes are good. Having some exercise once in a while is good, but you can replace this with anything. You guys can replace anything with anything. This is your program. So if you want to read the news every week, different news, feel free to read the news if that's something that will keep you interested and motivated, okay? Let me know if you have any questions about this. Paulo has a question, actually. So Paulo, you asked me, there is not conversation in the plan. So yeah, I didn't include conversation here because it will be something very variable. So the conversations will depend on if you're paying for the conversations or the language partners that you're going to find. And I'm going to tell you about that now. For those of you, let me go back to myself. There we go. So for those of you that are not in the program, I'm offering my students support to find language partners now that the program is over and they don't have daily native speaker practice. And also offering the option to continue the conversation. So for those of you that are continuing, I'm going to schedule the native speakers now. And for those of you that wants the free conversations, tonight's email that Pedro and I are sending out, we're going to offer you 3 options of websites that you can find a language partner. So you have these 3 websites to explore this week, okay? And just, use it as an exploration, try to talk to different people, see which conversation goes forward, which website you like the best. And you might find someone that you can talk to for a long period of time, or every week you might find different people. So pros and cons, and it also depends on people's availability, on your availability. I have found a few English native speakers that want to practice Portuguese, and I'm going to be adding everyone into a group where the native speakers will give their availability, and you guys will schedule conversations with them, first come, first serve, and you guys are gonna, work it out depending on the native availability, and whoever says, me first. So I'll be giving you guys more details about that very soon, by tonight in our WhatsApp group. So, Paulo, you are also asking me, hi, Fernanda, good to have you here. And yeah, hi, Paulo, and hi, whoever else is there. So Paulo, you were sending me if you have one more survey. Would you like to answer it again? Change your answers. We can definitely change your answers, and also we can change the. You can change the program if I didn't put something you wanted to see. How I did was whatever you guys put in the survey, three as because it was how interested you are on that resource, and you went from 1 to 5. One being not very interested, and 5 being very interesting. So whatever you put 3 or lower, I didn't include on your study plan because 3 is neutral. Like you didn't like, you didn't hate it, but I don't want it to be neutral. I want it to be something you like, either a little or a lot. So whatever you put 4 or 5 are the things that I included in your personalized plan. Okay. So yeah, if you want to change your answers, of course, you can also change it yourself. You can go to that email with all the resources and click, get the links and put in your study plan. So you have everything in one place. So this is just a guideline, guys. The study plan is a start, but hopefully you're going to be changing things, adding more resources. Every week we'll give you more resources. And then for that, you can put also the language partner websites there as well. So it's for you, you're the driver of your own learning. This was just a help I was giving you to get started. But now you're on your own. Well, not exactly, I'm still here, but take charge. Be the captain of your own boat. Whatever metaphor you want to use, be responsible for your own learning. Take Sunday night. You're at home, hopefully, or not, I don't know. But if you are at home, you're watching this. After we finish the video, take 10 minutes to plan your week. Like, what are the resources you're going to use? Which videos you're going to use? You can already pick right now for the entire week. So you don't have to be like, oh my God, I have to pick a video. Oh, what do I want? Choose it now. Like you can also put it in the plan, just like the videos, the link to the videos. So, be free to change things up. Even if you want to make a new tab, do like Monday, the date and the things you're going to do, plan yourself out. I know that sometimes we plan things out and the week goes kind of like, woo, but Sunday night, you already have some kind of idea how the week will go, or, maybe Monday morning. Then plan the rest of the week. Which times of the day can you stop for 15 minutes to do something? And yeah, that scheduling your day, scheduling your week is important. So try to do that right now. Okay. Awesome. So that's it, guys, for the study plan. I hope it was a little bit more clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to write it down. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, because I think I went through everything, but maybe who knows. So okay, now we're gonna turn our attentions to this very nice board. I don't know if you can see it well, but I'm gonna move the computer closer and keep my phone here so I can see what you guys are seeing. Perfect. Oh, nice. You can see much better. I'm so close to the screen. Anyway, so I don't know if it's because the computer glare is going on the screen. Oh gosh. I like having this, let me see, on my phone. Ugh. Yeah, okay, you guys can see it more or less. I'm gonna try to like redo it. But anyway, so I want to talk to you guys about what I talked to you on the first day of the program about the 3 layers of your new mindset. And I want to remind you of that. I want you to think about these things right now, bring them to mind. And these are the things that will keep you going. Even if you think you don't have time, you don't have energy, this will keep you, with the eyes on the goal. So let me see if I can make this a little, stronger. So, okay. I don't know if that's any better, but if you can see here, this is our little house. I drew a house. It's a little cabin. It's the cabin that I want to live at someday. Cabin in the middle of the woods. So this little cabin with a chimney and everything, look at me. You see here, those three little blocks, those are the layers to build a strong foundation. And this is the foundation, guys. This house is our fluency, getting comfortable speaking English is the house. It's like the pretty thing of like speaking English without thinking about it. But the house cannot be built without those three layers, which are those three layers. Okay. So first one is motivation. Let's see if I can make it any more visible. Motivation. Did I make it worse? Yeah, I think so. Okay, never mind. I was so excited about my visual resources, but anyway, next week I'll find something better. So, first one, remember week 1, first day of the program where we were talking, was pre-course actually. We were talking about what's your motivation. Remember remember the letter of commitment that you signed with the 3 things that you wanted, why you wanted to learn, and those were very specific things. We're about career goals, about personal goals, and many of you need English to advance your careers, maybe to get that new job. I want you to think about those tangible things. Not the, oh man, maybe I'll apply to a job someday. No, think about the job you would apply today if you were fluent in English. Think about the whole thing. You can put it in your resume, fluent in English. And then you can interview and actually speak English. And you can, actually get the job because you are qualified and you speak English. So think about that. Think about some of you wanted to do a course, a training course abroad. So think about going to the United States, to a conference, to a course, and being able to understand everyone perfectly, talking to anybody at a conference or a training program, being able to follow it, being able to express your ideas. So I want you to think about specific examples, specific to you. Or maybe traveling, you would love to go to England, to London, and be able to go to a pub and speak to people, or be on an English tour instead of a Portuguese tour. So think about those things, or travel around the country without thinking that the language will be a problem for you. Okay? Connecting with people in a very, very intimate way, speaking a different languages, connecting to another soul. It's not just being able to communicate. Think about somebody that speaks Portuguese. Have you met anybody that speaks Portuguese as a second language, and you can actually talk to them in your native language? Isn't that something pretty amazing? Yeah, it's the same thing that people think about you speaking English. So yeah, let's not lose the focus of what learning a language really is. It can mean a promotion or opportunities, but bottom line is just being able to connect to more people. So motivation, remember your core motivation, what's like really inside that makes you excited when you think about it. Okay. Now, number 2, if you can see here, otherwise, is attitude. So by now, you guys know, I know a lot of you wrote to me like, oh, I should have used the resources more. I should have had more time. There we go. I'm not cutting my hand anymore. I should have had more time. I should have explored the resources more. Don't think about the past, okay? Don't think about what you didn't do. Don't be harsh on yourself, like, oh God, I can't do anything. Stop the drama. Just cut the excuses, cut the BS, the bullshit. Just, stop thinking about the time you don't have, the energy you don't have, and start planning times during your day to do things. That's the attitude. That's the attitude of polyglots. Polyglots have fun learning languages. And that's what I've been doing. I've been very busy, still traveling, setting up on back home, you know, trying to kind of like making, I have a lot going on right now, but I'm still practicing French every single day. That's the language I'm learning right now. And I'm in the same level of you guys. I don't speak fluently. So I don't create excuses for myself. I'm watching something. I'm doing my 30 minutes of listening every single day, even if it's inside a plane, even if it's, right before bed. Anything, anything you really want, you can accomplish if you have the right attitude. So think about cutting the BS, cutting the excuses. Make it happen. Make it happen. It's not something really hard, okay? And the third one is communicating is the goal. I know you can read this, but it's communication. Yeah, communication is the goal. So again, I think by now you guys know it really well about being perfect is not the goal. That's not the goal. Speaking English perfectly is not the goal. Not even native speakers speak English perfectly. So communicating, though, being able to understand someone, what the ideas they're trying to give to you, or an explanation or a business deal, anything you need English for, understanding what they're saying and being able to reply, that's the goal. Okay. Learning anything at all. It's like a spiral. I tried drawing a spiral here. I'm gonna try again. Okay. A spiral. Okay, I don't know if I don't know if that's really better, but think about the notebooks we had when we were kids and there was a spiral thing. Yeah, that's what I mean, spiral. Or, old telephones when you had a cord and there wasn't cell phones. And you had those old phones that had a cord. The cord was a spiral. So that's what spiral is. So learning anything, not only English, anything in life, being a better person, everything is about a spiral. It's not a line, because people think about learning as a line, like, oh, I'm starting here and then I'm going to go. That's not how learning is. Not really. Learning is a spiral. So you start here, you're going to go and you're going to learn something like, oh, cool. Now I know how to use the present perfect. And then you're going to try to use it. And then you're going to go like, I don't think I know it very well. Okay, let me learn another aspect of it. And then you go and you learn other things. You don't learn everything at the same time. You don't focus at everything at the same time. You just go and you're going to go back to it later and you're going to learn something different about the same topic. And, it's kind of like cyclic, it's cyclic. Huh, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Look at me. I still have stuff to know, stuff to learn. So you go, sometimes you learn something and you think you know it, and then you're going to go back and see that you don't know it for sure. But every time you revisit something, you're going to learn it better until you master it. So don't worry about oh my God, I saw these last week and I can't remember. It's okay. That happens to all of us. About vocabulary, that's why spaced repetition is so important, to learn vocabulary and grammar, because you can do the spiral thing in a more effective way. So always remember this, okay? When you feel discouraged. So, and after we have our amazing 3 layers, we can build our house and, just go into the world and speak to everyone that speaks English, which is, I think, almost 2 billion people in the world. So anyway, awesome. That's what I want you to remember today. Write those things down. What is the motivation that you found in the beginning? What is the attitude that you want to have this week? Always do it weekly, and check in on Wednesday or Thursday to see how things are going. And remember about communicating. So that brings me to what to focus on if you have no time. So I don't think you can read this, but whatever. It's saying what to focus on when you have no time. That's a question that I get asked a lot. Um, so, Anna, if I have no time during the day, I'm super busy, what should I focus on? I would say listen. If you cannot do anything else, listen to English because the goal is communication, right? And to communicate, first thing you need to know is how to understand spoken English. So, for that goal to be our goal, to be the thing in mind, you have to learn how to listen. And the more you listen, the better you'll become at listening. Of course, it's not enough to just listen every day passively. Remember, um, I hope you know the difference between active and passive listening. If you don't, tell me and I'll make a video, specifically about those things. A lot of videos out there, but not a video from me, from moi. So even if you cannot do active listening, just do passive listening if you don't have time for anything else. Do if you cannot do 30 minutes, do 20. I would say 20 is the minimum, like do 20 or more. And that counts, conversation as well. And that's why, yeah, Paulo was asking me like that. Those times is not included the conversation, of course. But, if one day you're going to have conversation, you can maybe do less of the other things. Always focusing on listening, 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 listening. Because the more you listen, the more your ears will be used to the rhythm, the tone, intonation. Of course, some people come to me and they're like, oh, but I listen, I've been listening to English every day. But if you do only that, then you're not going to improve. I'm just talking about what to focus on if you cannot do anything else. But of course, following the strategies that I gave you guys with active listening, with stopping the video and trying to write things down, with trying to predict the prediction for both listening and reading is extremely important. So if doing those things is important for you to advance, for you to go up in the spiral and not be just circling on the same place over and over and over and over. Because if you only do passive listening for 30 days, you're not going to see much improvement. There will be improvement, but not much. What I'm saying is, if you get the difference, what to focus on listening. If you did the listening once, then try to bring out the other skills, shadowing, imitating, and recording yourself. Extremely, extremely important. I would say you do that every day if you can, with 1 or 2 sentences, shadowing and recording. Because the more you shadow and record yourself, the better you will become, the more fluent you will become. But actually improving will depend on, how much you interact with the material, either by flashcards or by, the strategies, and how much you you speak in English. So it will be up to you to make the effort to go into the websites that we're going to give to you tonight, explore them, try to find conversation partners, make that effort, and try to schedule those things into your week. Maybe for Saturday or Sunday, maybe that can be your fun activity, talking to a native speaker. Just don't let, a busy schedule or a busy family schedule stop you. Next week, I'm going to be speaking about something very interesting. I don't think it's going to be a live class because I have a wedding Saturday night. And I'll be flying on Sunday. So that's why I don't think I'll do it live, but I'm going to leave it recorded. I'm going to make a video so you guys can watch it on Sunday and, have something to do for the week. Because next week, somebody suggested me something very, very nice, which is, Anna, why don't you give us, propose an activity that, we can do with our children in English. And I thought that this was like, oh my God, this is so genius, So for next week, I'm going to be looking for activities you guys can do with your children in English. So you both can practice and you don't have an excuse like, oh, I have to watch my children. That's why I can't listen to English. That's not going to be an excuse anymore. I'm so sorry. I know you love your excuses. We love our excuses. Like, I can't do this because of this and that and blah, 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 blah. But what if that's not an excuse anymore? Yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. Activities for parents and children. And yeah, so for this week, what I suggest you do is plan your week right now. Try to find your language partners if you're doing the free version of the speaking. So take this week to schedule one conversation with someone. And of course, language partners, you have to exchange. So try to say, okay, I'm going to talk to you in Portuguese for 30 minutes, and then you speak to me in English for 30 minutes. And then you do the exchange. So I would say, try to schedule 1 hour, a 1 hour block with anybody that you liked out there in the websites, and try to do that. That's your goal. At least once this week, ease into it. And then once you find somebody cool, once you get to know the websites, then you can schedule more times a week. And if I know of anyone that wants to practice their Portuguese, I will put them in contact with you guys. Okay. So yeah, try also, take some time to look at the study guide, change it up, adapt, see what you're liking more, see what's working more. Remember, when you get bored or when you get tired, that's your brain telling you, stop. This is not working anymore. Because if you're getting bored, you're not learning anything. Okay. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys again next week. And if you have any questions, if you were watching these and you were not in the program, if you have any questions for me, I'm available. hello@speakeasyanaolive.com. I'll leave it in, down here. I'm also on LinkedIn. If you got here through LinkedIn, also, message me there. I'm available to talk to you about anything. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have an amazing week. I miss you guys already. Bye.